This week has been one of the saddest weeks in the history of Uganda. Not the week that one would say, well, I had to celebrate, I had to enjoy the day. But at the same time, we can't say that was it. Some people were happy. For the first time, somebody was going to be fully assassinated, but he survived. That was General Katumba. Now the questions are so many about security of the country. One case cannot make the country to be more insecure, but at the same time, it leaves a question. If a general of 4-star is assassinated, if he had died, how is the government going to explain that to the world? Thank you for joining us. The show has already started, and it's a question of when and how, whether Uganda will be peaceful and it will lead or have that development that people have been looking for. I'm joined in the studio by Richard Myombia, Apol Ranga, and Kapalaga, Michael Kakande. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a very wonderful week for me, I would say. It's a sad week for the country of Uganda, but also it's a sad week for Africa in general. When we see such killings happening, it leaves so many questions on whether the people in the country are safe. But on top of that, there is still a very increasing the rate of COVID is increasing on a daily basis. I had a friend of mine who, this past week, buried 3 people just because of COVID. So that is a very serious thing that we shouldn't just ignore. People are dying. People, they used not to take it serious, but now things are becoming worse. So guys, gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining me. I know it has been a very sad week for some of you, but I would say happy week. I saw so many tweets coming after the night for our side. Early in the morning when the news came out that, General Katumba has been assassinated, he has survived. There's so many tweets and Facebook posts that were going on, positive and negative. Let me start with you, Apple. How was your week?
My week was good. Personally, it was good. All right. And the saddest thing is the General Katumba Amala's attempt of assassination. And the bad thing, the daughter and the driver didn't survive over it. Right. Yeah, it gives us a lot of questions concerning the security of our people in Uganda, and a lot of suspicions,
All right, Richard. Anything that happened that was so new, or this was business as usual? We have seen murders happening here and there.
No, this week I was happy. Yeah, the sad thing about me this week, I was very happy of what Katumba Wamala and the traitors of the people of Uganda has been doing, especially against the people of NUP. You see, I saw Museveni and Katumba Wamala crying wolf. Every day people are being murdered. The army barracks are full. Corpses are being dumped every morning. People are not saying anything. As if these young people they are killing because of supporting people power, where I belong, or where Chagulanyi is the leader, is a joke. They should be murdered. And one of them is being tried to be murdered by Museveni himself.
All right. Michael, anything that was so interesting? I understand that for the first time I saw somebody who was going to be killed, and the reaction from one group of the country was celebrating, we wish he had died. Is that a new narrative for you guys? And I just want to know, and how was your week? Let's start with that.
Thank you, Mr. David. I want to be on record. I am the production coordinator of NUP in the diaspora. And I want to refute what you're saying. What you're telling the world is wrong.
Hold on. Your fellow NUP said he was happy.
Yes, I'm on record. Well, I was very happy.
I said I am the production coordinator of NUP in the diaspora. And I said, I think you're trying to paint a picture that we are happy when someone is dying. And I think Richard here talked in his perspective as a person who is entitled to his opinion. But officially, we are actually so sad that such a thing can happen to a general. And this should be an eye-opener to Ugandans, that if this is happening to a foster general, not just a mere foster general, but a person of Katumba Wamala's caliber, who has literally been everywhere, well decorated. Katumba Wamala has been the IGP of Uganda, the highest position in police, the IGP,
and
presiding over intelligence, whatever, in the docket, in the police docket.
Right.
Katumba Wamala has been
Chief of Defense Forces.
Chief of Defense Forces.
Now Minister of
the
Arts.
highest
rank
in the Ugandan army. If something of that sort can happen to a person like Katumba, then Uganda is set for the worst.
All right.
And we are very worried as NUP, as People Power.
All right. Gentlemen, I want to thank you
so
for...
I would like you to please tell the people that NUP is not happy with what happened to General
Katumba. All right, I did not say, and I want to be clear on record, I did not say that NUP was happy for what happened to General Katumba. But what I did say, there is a group of Ugandans who are celebrating the assassination of the general. That happened. We cannot refute that. If you go on social media,
there are those who are happy, and they have their own reasons
why they're happy.
He has just told you he has seen people being murdered.
Yesterday.
All right. So I want to ask you guys. This has been a very interesting part of the story. For the first time, usually when such assassinations happen in the country, what we normally see, the government reacts very fast, and the way they react is they're always controlling the media. For the first time, is it because General Katumba Wamala did not die? That's why, for some reason, the media is fading away from that story. And even the way the government is reacting, one wonders, why is it so calm this time? Was it this an inside job? Or just General Katumba Wamala had issues with maybe the public? Maybe he had issues with other politicians who are not in the forces. Maybe he had issues with outside countries, like neighboring countries, Kenya or Uganda or Rwanda. The question of who is responsible for this and how the government is reacting. The government is so calm for the first time. Now, I want to start with you, Richard. Why is it that this time the government has not fully reacted like the way we've seen in the past murders, like the one of Andrew Felix Kawesi, Mohamed Chilumira, the Chugundis? This time, everything is calm. The president just tweeted, let the pigs do whatever they want to do, but we'll come after them. Richard.
Yeah, it was Museveni. You see, when we come here to defend democracy in our country and human rights and the setup of the country, the Museveni has done, and the way why we support people power and why we are members, we are right. Museveni, the day people understand him, the way he works and his system, Katumba was purged, was being killed because he knew I'm a codes. Okay? Museveni could not let Katumba Wamala retire with all what the knowledge he has and the setup of the army, and he lets him go to his farm and retire because he had attained the greatest, the greatest command in the country. So how could the communist leader let his son take over when Katumba Wamala is there sitting idle? He had to be either be killed or go to prison. Katumba Wamala did everything that he should not go to prison, but then the man says, now I have to take you out to be safe.
All right, so I want to ask you a question, Richard, again, before I leave you. Do you think this is going to end?
Which one?
The assassinations, the matters.
No. They're not going to end until we remove Museveni and his son from the country and from the power of the leadership of Uganda.
All right, Kapalaga, before I come back to Apple, there is where you started by saying that a group of people in Uganda are not celebrating over these cases. So I want to ask you this question. This is a man who at one time boxed one of your key members in People Power Movement, in NUP. It's on record. I know, and it's on record that maybe they're reconciled. But the joy that came from one group of some of the supporters of now National Unity Platform about pretty much why he didn't die, and the posts that we saw from key, I would say, social media influencers who are part of the organization of National Unity Platform. What message does that send to the public?
Apparently, it's so sad that you don't seem to understand the National Unity Platform and its systems. But like I've said before, and I repeat, Ugandans have reasons why they react in such a manner. There is a certain group of people, like you said, who felt somehow relieved when someone is being killed. And it is not that they love seeing the dead, but it is because they are tired of seeing the dead. I don't think you saw something of that kind when the late Bishop, what was his name? Ranga died. And this is, I look at Katumba subjectively. You see, Katumba is one person that I respect as a person. You talked about him boxing Honorable Zake. But, like you said, they reconciled. I look at Katumba as someone who failed to leave a failed organization that he knows it has failed, but he is trapped in it. Katumba, if I discuss Katumba, Katumba has led the Ugandan army in Congo.
Right.
Right? He never stole a thing, a single thing. But Uganda up to today is paying Congo because a group of people went to Congo and stole. Not Katumba. Katumba has led the police as the IGP. There is no single story of Katumba stealing Uganda. Katumba has led the land forces. Katumba has led the army. He's very clean, not until he boxed Zake. And some other statement that he made that to me, I think it was just a defensive statement.
For just political reasons?
For security reasons of himself. That is what I read from that statement where he said, I hear you people are saying people power. We shall not look at you just taking power. I observed that as security for him. Because this government has not rewarded those people who are working, who are pro-people.
Right.
I will tell you another person that I always want to be subjective when I'm discussing. That is Nantaba. Much as Nantaba has her own fate and her, calling Museveni on phone direct, right, and all that, I know that she, in her, wanted to work for the people. But she was disappointed by the system. Now, my only problem with those people is they keep themselves enslaved in the system. They don't want to come out and say and speak the truth. That is why they are getting such. Because this is what the regime does. It first makes sure you, to the public, if you're a darling, the regime will make sure that it tarnishes your name in a way that once you get a problem, the public is against you.
All right. Mike, I want to thank you. Let me first bring in Apple. Apple, that was a very great explanation of what's going on in the country. But I want to ask you, Apple, this is a very difficult situation for the country. It's a very difficult situation for the security forces. But one thing that we should know is that General Katumba has served in all these posts, from police to the army, now to public service. The question that people are asking, where next? Because the government is coming up with a new a new cabinet for this current government. Now the question is was he meant to go back into the same position where he was, or this was the right time to take him off so that he can create more space? These are the arguments, and they're not just theories, but you may take some sense out of these arguments that maybe they wanted to take him off because he has been everywhere. There is nothing else they can offer him to represent who he is. Let me ask you a question. What's your take on that?
Anyway, I don't, it's not amazing. You know, my fellow NUP people, I think they always become lastly in concerning the future perspectives of what is happening in Uganda. Now, when you say, like Kapalaga, the way he was saying that General Katumba is in a bad regime, where do you want him to be? Eh? You want him to leave NRM and come to your disorganized NUP party with no future plans? Where do you want him to be?
He's a general. He's the same rank with President Museveni. So
if you are not all of the people who are in the UPDF is a national army.
But we have seen,
if someone is using individuals, wait, let me talk. Why do you give those people time to talk and you interrupt me? Let me talk.
All right, sure.
If you are in the government and the president is using you, it doesn't mean that he's using everybody. In the UPDF, there are so many good people, very many good people, even those who are in the big ranks. So we don't know exactly what is even happening in the country. Because when you see all the murders and whatever, they have no even a reason why. Even those kind of stuff happened even in Burundi.
But there should be a reason why all these high-ranking members of the country are being murdered.
The NUP has told you the reason. Mr. Muyomba told you it is Museveni who is murdering people.
Yes, it is true, on record.
Yeah, according to him, you know.
Because I've been following him for a long time.
He doesn't know in between of being an analyst and being a blogger. Now he's in the wrong place. He's a blogger.
Okay,
because a blogger comes with any information without trying to search for the true, correct, whatever. Let me tell you. When that thing, he talked about the late Ruanga. Kano Westje came and make a comment of that. Immediately, the doctor of the Rwanda's family came out and said, I know exactly what was happening with Rwanda's family for a long time. I've been treating him for a long time. And Kano Westje came out and said, I'm sorry, I was misled by the media. Because I talked via I read this in the media. So that's why I reacted like that. That was a very good sense of humor from a person who is respected. Not like these people who are coming up with everything. In Uganda today, there is no any politician who is dying now today. Who can die? I think when you become a politician in Uganda, you can't die. Because I think you are immortal. Because you're a politician. When you wake up like Apple and you talk about the government and you die tomorrow, they say they are you get what I'm saying? But all these things which are these people are talking about, they have no evidence about it. Just to read in the newspaper. But
the question,
hold on. I cannot listen to Muyomba and I forget. Listen, and I forget to listen to a doctor of Rwanda.
All right. So
David, there's an issue.
Richard, I want to bring you in, but let me first ask Apple. These are matters that have been happening over time, and there's the same style. Border borders, twin videos, shoot and go, and you want to tell the public out there that the president of the country, who in 1986 came out and said, I'm going to preserve a country which is peaceful, that has a lot of security, cannot up to today, from matters of Chigundu to Kawesi to Chirumira, cannot come out as a president. He's the commander-in-chief of the country to say, well, we have 5 people so far that we have gathered and we know these are responsible for the killings of all these individuals. Same style, same way, different years.
Do you know
what explanation can you give to the country?
Do you know where it comes from? I saw the president talking was it last night? He talked about that the cameras would have warned patrols. I think you read about that.
Right.
And then they follow the perpetrators. Then the question is, which cameras is he talking about?
Well, we saw videos of cameras.
Exactly. And where are the patrols? Kampala Police, CPS, which is working around the Kampala Metropolitan, has only 9 Kabangali, these patrol police. You get what I'm saying? Right. So now tell me how the 9 patrol police can round up the whole Kampala, plus because Kampala with the neighbors.
Well, that's a question when you say, you know, I want to bring in Richard, but that's
the problem is security.
Apple, that's a question I want to ask.
He failed the security of the country. He's only protecting himself, but the citizens, he doesn't do that.
That's the reason. That's the Richard. Before I bring in, that's the reason why people are saying maybe the government should change, because one, this murder that happened, they had cameras, they saw cameras, but we did not see any security reaction this time. We did not see, in the United States, you know, if a murder happens, for example, in Boston area, they'll conduct all that area. Police will be everywhere.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, who can condone when you have 9 patrols?
David, now allow me to interrupt with my land friend. The first thing of Katumba Wamala, there are 2 things. When the incident of Kasese happened, or the massacre of this, how he killed the people of Kasese, Katumba Wamala stood on his ground and said, "These are my fellow Ugandan people. I'm going to withdraw from the murder." He cleaned himself. And this man from Muhoozi and Museveni, they killed the people of Kasese. Katumba cleaned himself. The issue of Lukaya, where they killed 200 Ugandans that were coming to rescue the Kabaka, these things. The Bukenya, the vice president, he said the word after Kaihura had commanded them to be killed. We are going to court one day to revenge for those people that were killed. We shall never rest. He said on record, they were right to be killed. And the next day or the next month, his son was killed by the same regime that was trying to protect. And Bukenya cried. That's what we are telling people, Katumba Wamala. Why would Katumba Wamala celebrate because the people of NUP are being rounded up? The people of NUP are
people of NUP, people of Uganda. No. Multi-party system.
Okay.
Women who are murdered in Entebbe, they were not in NUP.
Okay.
But that's
even by the time, no.
My submission.
Talk about Uganda, not NUP.
Okay. I want to let Richard finish up.
Okay.
Talk about Uganda.
Now, according to you, a supporter of the NRM. I'm cross-examining you. According to you, the support of NRM, do you like the security and the army system and the security of America and Israel, or you like the one of Uganda? Now, on record, can you tell the people here?
Let me help him.
Can you tell the people?
Let me help him.
Can you? I just cross-examined you. Do you like the American system and Israel system, or you like the Uganda system? Yes, I asked you.
Let me answer him.
Can you tell the people
now? Go to your phone and Google and ask how many murders and shootings has been here in this year in schools, in supermarkets, in malls,
by the soldiers of the country, by the soldiers of
the murders.
All right. So I want to thank you guys.
The people that are being paid by the Museveni to come here and defend him, and you come here.
It is.
I want to thank you guys. Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you for the argument. But Kapalaga, I want to bring you.
You are asking people to go into where are they going?
What? No. Let's finish my submission. That submission.
Richard,
what people is going to do, and what will happen one day, the structure of the army and the security of the country that is in the wrong hand and the wrong process shall be changed to the way Ugandans like it. It's a problem. Don't tell that Uganda is a failed state, that security. People go without food, no electricity, no nothing is happening because security.
That is dreaming.
So I want to ask you, generally, Kapalaga, I want to ask you also this question. The president has always been consistent with his words. He always uses pigs. Pigs are, I think the president knows who exactly these people are. Based on his arguments, his Twitter statements when he's giving the State of the Nation address, he has been very consistent by using, we know who you are. we are coming after you. You pigs who are killing our people. Starting from the days of Kano Abiriga, then we came to Chirumira, then we came now to, we are having General Katumba Amala. The president is using the same statement, implying if you're smart enough, I mean, this does not need to, you don't have to go to church or the mosque to first pray to understand that the president is communicating something that he knows exactly the people he's talking about. He has been consistent by calling them pigs. One time he used swine. Today, the same statement is using. Kapalaga, isn't the president giving us the right direction of telling us, well, I know who the people who are doing this. Maybe they're doing this because these people support me. Well, let's look at the history. When Chirumira was killed, he was talking to the president those days. Let's look at Kawes was a darling to President Museveni. Let's look at Chegun, was also a darling to President Museveni. Let's look at now General Katumba Amala. He is a darling, at least considering the recent political campaigns that have been going on. Why is the president saying, I know who is doing this, but nobody is acting? Kapalaga, I want to bring you in and give me that argument. According to your perspective, what do you think, and what is the organization talking about it?
Thank you, David. For starters, you know Mr. Museveni is not the legitimate president of Uganda.
Well, he has been, I want to cancel that first on this show, and I want to be open with it.
And you were even in his government. That's why you swear all your system members.
I want to cancel that because the president has been sworn in, he was declared, so we at least know we have not seen any other president so far swearing in, at least for now, on record. All right, let's get going.
I think you know that Muhammad Bashir sweared in and he got 90% of the votes, but he's not the president of Sudan today. I wanted to react to Comrade Apollo's reactions. I was trying to follow, but it seems I got lost somewhere. But at least he asked me, where do I want Katumba to go? Whether I want Katumba to go to the disorganized NUP. Mr. Apollo, NUP does not have rights to being in opposition. It doesn't mean that if you don't agree with the government or if you don't agree with Museveni, you have to belong to NUP. What I was asking of Mr. Katumba, the likes of General Katumba, the likes of Honorable Nantaba and the like, is to come out and tell the public, or just abstain from the regime, because it is tarnishing their names. That people like my friend, the Minister of Education, what's his name?
John Chrysostom
Muyingo. Those are people who you would like to. You see, in my village in Bongole, we had a problem of the mice. You would wake up when a mouse has eaten part of your food, and you want to cut that part where the mice has eaten, and then you make sure you can eat the rest of the part.
Right.
So there are people in NRM where you look at him and you think, I can actually cut this part which has been eaten by the mouse, and I can get to use this other part. Those are the people like Muyingo, like Katumba, like those people.
Like Kadaga.
Yeah, like Kadaga. Yes. So I would also want to inform Comrade Apollo that Mr. Museveni is on record telling the country that he knows who killed Zebra. I know Mr. Apollo wants records. I don't know, like he told Richard to go on Google. I would like Apollo to go on to Google and show me where those people were arrested. I know that you know that a young girl called Nabukenya Rita was murdered by police. And you know...
I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you.
And provide evidence.
That is where I am coming.
Yes.
And you know that where she was murdered, there are cameras, police cameras. And the police was very quick to come out and say, we have evidence that she wasn't killed by the police patrol. When we asked for the video clips, up to today, they've never been produced. I know that you know.
Just a bit slow. One day, I got an accident in Chelsea here in America. Hold on. Right. This is, we are discussing.
Yeah, sure.
I went, they sent me to court when I got an accident. But before I went there, when the police came over, the police said I was in wrong, I violated the stop sign. And I was saying, no, this guy was in wrong. They said, don't worry, we have the cameras. It will show. I went there, I paid $35 to give me the data when I was going to court. They told me, we'll pick it up. I traveled there, coming from Worcester, picking it. They're telling the person who's working on it is in the field. I said, is he even going to the field with the data? I leave that. I reached the time of going to court. I went to court. When we went on with the court process, I'm talking about America here. Then, listen to me, I'm finishing this. At the last time the judge called the officer who was working on my case to come, because I told the judge I tried, even they refused me to go and take pictures of my car where they towed it from. That is a private property, whatever. Whenever I used to go there, the police was collaborating with these people.
All right, so
when I reached with the police officer, when he came, he said the cameras were not working. That's it. Let's go back.
Or so there's all right. I want to get an understanding of this.
I don't know.
I want to get an understanding of this.
That was an information.
I was trying to tell you that cameras, even in America here, they don't work sometimes.
My argument is we are talking about people's lives being killed.
Right, so
just a moment. On 13th of August 2018, a young man with a young family called Yasini Kauma was murdered in cold blood by a police person. This is 2021. That person has never been paraded. All they did was to parade Honorable Chagulanyi with the guns. With the guns.
All right.
On the 17th and 18th of November last year, very many Ugandans were killed by the Ugandan police and army that is supposed to protect them.
Talk about the women that used to die before even Chagulanyi came in Entebbe.
And who was killing them? Was not it Kaihura and this man?
So I want to thank you guys.
My argument in conclusion is, Uganda, we are not in politics, or we are not discussing politics because we want. I know, Apollo, you know that I am a musician. I should be telling you about my new songs or my new video, but I am here discussing Uganda, not because I want, but because that is where Museveni has pushed us
to be.
He left us with no option.
Let's start
keep coming here on TV shows to discuss.
Let's discuss on the issue of what you mentioned about President Museveni, and I want to ask you guys for this very important argument that's going on, and when you look at the key issues that are happening in the country, for the biggest part is the president came out yesterday and he was very keen and honest and said, well, we wanna fight against corruption and we want to end corruption as soon as possible. So we have a solution. The solution, according to him, as the president of the country who has been in power for more than 35 years, says maybe it's time to hire only the rich kids, the rich sons and daughters of the rich people, the sons and daughters of the rich families. Now, the question I want to ask you guys, you know, the country, before I come to my panelists here, you who are watching the show right now, I want to ask you this question. When the president comes out to say that we need to start hiring people who come from only rich families to fight corruption, does that really solve the problem of the country? Or it's even going to escalate it more? if you are from a poor family, you worked your way high and you went to school, and the president says, I cannot consider you because of your family background, so you cannot be an employee of the government. Where does that leave the country? Now, that's the president of the country. He has just been re-elected. He's taking the country for the next 5 years. I want to start with Richard on this issue. The president was very honest to himself, and I agree with him for some reason why we need to hire rich people. We need to vote for rich people to get into offices. But that has not solved the problem, even in the United States of America. The rich steal more than actually what the poor can do. Richard, what's your take on the president's argument?
The issue why I come here to defend people poor and Honorable Chagwa is that Chagwa has the solution for the country. The constitution of the country was made by Museveni and its structures of government, because a pyramid cannot fight corruption. The reason why you have less corruption, almost zero corruption in America, is the structure of government. Massachusetts itself is accountable to its people, and it's like somewhere we are. It's accountable to its people. But everything in Uganda is accounted to one man and his office, Museveni. That's the root of corruption and undevelopment in Uganda.
Right.
That's why Chagwa came out and said, when I take government, I'll make a conference where the Ugandans can discuss the system of government they want in a country and make a constitution.
Which conference is that?
You are not. You are part of the problem, because you people, you come, or your parents come, and you are not grateful. You are not grateful that the people welcomed you in a country. It's the same as the Museveni. I'm talking on record. Yeah, your parents, we welcomed your parents in the country. Now you have stand out to be the problem of us, the natives. That's the problem of you people. It's the same as Museveni. We came as a poor man.
All right.
Now he has to kill and destroy us, the natives of the country.
We can't.
Now let's finish what we are saying.
Right,
the issue of stopping corruption in the country is one. It's the structure of government, the responsibility of the country, not to one man and his party, but to all the people. If it's security, if it's the army, if it's the finances, if it's the reconstruction, to different areas, like it's in America, but not to one man. If Museveni doesn't want to do a road in Kapalaga, it won't be done. If he doesn't want to do a school in Kapalaga, it won't be done. If he wants to do a school in Masindi, he can do it. It has kept us behind. It's time this man leaves office and we elect people and put in a new constitution that we want.
I probably had a very strong argument against Richard on that some issue. When the president comes out to clearly say that now is my time to hire kids from rich families, I think that's going to be a good solution to end corruption in the country. But one wonders whether that's going to change actually the problems that people of Uganda have been facing in the past. It's a question that even the lowest person from the village of Kasokoso will start asking, why should the president come out broadly and say we are only hiring kids from rich families? Apolo, what's your take on that? That's the argument of a president, and it's leaving the country in a very strong
I'm not
time.
always driving my gas to come here to advocate people, advocate political parties. We've been having political parties in Uganda. Do you know why people leave political parties and they go to, they leave NRM? Those who tried even to live in NRM and they change themselves and go to opposition. And at the end of the day, they wake up and then you find them back to NRM. It's because of these people. They have no strategic, foundational, strong programs. Even when you see them, they're just making noise. A country is not about making noise.
Were you there with respect? Were you there when that constitution was made in Uganda?
A country. Now, when you look at the
constitution, I was there. I saw everything, how Museveni gave himself the power of controlling everything in the country. Don't think I'm just a young man that is out here to shout for nothing.
Yes, where were you to remove him by that time? Why do you want
do you know how he crafted himself that constitution? Did you see the Odoki draft constitution, that what was saying?
Okay, wait for your conference with Kyagulanyi when he takes power.
We shall take power. You are just joking.
Madness cannot take power.
Yeah, but we shall take it.
Okay, let me tell you. The country, the root cause of all what you see today in Uganda is the leadership. You get what I'm saying?
The leadership in Uganda? Who has all the powers in the country?
So, Richard, I want to give Apple to make his statement right. So, Apple, why you say why should the president only hire the rich? Kids from the rich families?
I cannot even talk about that. That is madness.
Because that's the president.
Utesa has been rich ever since NRM was in power. How many times he's been in embezzlement, in stealing money? Was he not rich? Was this major who? That comes from Rukunjiri. Who is that? Who stole embezzled the money for Gavi? Who is that? Jim West. Was he poor? That is madness. That's what these people don't see. They're just making people from get home with president of where?
The issue of checks and balance.
Stop being madness. We cannot remove Museveni and put madness people in the government.
David, for the record, the issue of checks and balance in the Constitution.
All the country needs to stand up against corruption, including the people in power. A person who is in power is corrupt, and he's talking about bringing the rich people in the.
He doesn't even know what they call checks and balance in the Constitution.
All right, gentlemen.
I'm not talking about America. I'm talking about
but if you like to live in America, with the structure of government, why don't you like it? The people of Uganda to have
don't tell me about living in America. It's not NUP who brought it.
No. Because you came here, you enjoy what is good in America.
I work for it.
Yes, but you then you go back and laugh at the people that are suffering.
All right, gentlemen.
I'm not seated there, and the American government bring me back into my home.
Okay, so guys, I want to thank you.
Stop talking about stop being a slave.
All right, guys, I want to thank you. Kapalaga, I want to ask you some question.
If you're a slave, you become a slave. I'm not a slave. I'm here. I'm working. I wake
Why don't you work in Uganda and drive a border?
Take me back.
All right, gentlemen.
I'm not like you who abandoned your country and came here for 25 years. You're not even going.
All right, guys. I want to leave that aside, but I want to bring in Kapalaga.
Let me tell you, it's me only Apollo in America who even put a flag on my plates.
All right,
a Ugandan.
Sure.
This one, he doesn't know even where a flag of Uganda is.
All right, sorry. I want to thank you.
Uganda. You love Uganda.
All right, so Kapalaga, I want to thank you guys for that tough argument. But Kapalaga, you know, the president is very honest to Ugandans that maybe this is the right time for us to stand strong and fight corruption. And I think I may agree with him. We need rich people in the government. Maybe that will help out to stop the swindling that has been going on over years, for years now. What's your take on the president's argument? This is a new government, so at least as we know, and he's going to take the country for the next 4 to 5 years. I want to ask you this. Do you think this is the right step for the president to fight corruption? He has been fighting corruption since day one in 1986, but the problem is corruption has been increasing on a daily basis, at least from what records and of course the records we know as AITV. But asking you this question, is this the right path that the president should take now that he's having a new government and new leadership that is everyone is fighting for? Kapalaga, what's your take on that as we finish up the show?
You see, in the 2020 budget, in the last financial year, Mr. Museveni took 5.69 trillion Ugandan shillings in classified. 5.69 trillion.
Right.
And classified means you can't know what it has done. Okay? Mr. Museveni recently told the public that he called each and every MP to make sure he votes for Olanya because that is who he wanted to win the speakership. And he indeed was very, very proud and said, I called them even today morning. I met them. And I called Olanya and told him, you see, here are your enemies. There is what we call patronage. Museveni has used that so much. The Minister of Finance, the outgoing
Mathias Kasaija,
had someone who was contesting with him in the last elections. The guy was given a very juicy job and he withdrew from elections.
Right.
So Kasaija would come out unopposed. Those are all forms of corruption. Uganda cannot be corruption-free as long as Mr. Museveni still sits in that chair.
Right.
Because he is not into that. He just talks about it just to make us think he's thinking about Uganda. He has never thought about Uganda. This year, 2020-2021, the current budget.
Right.
They already said 64% of the security budget, which is about 4.1 trillion, is going to classified. Now, if Museveni doesn't want anyone to talk about the classified, how will he question or caution someone who has stolen 5 billion when he
so you know that's general because
Mr. Museveni has of recent.
But for classified, let's go back to the classified for the classified point, Kapalaga. I want to put you back a little bit. That any country does that for security reasons. They don't want to tell the world how much they're spending on security, and I think that's illegal. It's not illegal for the country to do that.
What is that the security?
Security guarding against border people.
That's a good question.
Who is the security guarding?
Driving at night and selling pumpkins on the road.
If you personalize the security, Uganda's security is working tooth and nail to see that Museveni keeps being the president, not seeing to it that people are guarded with their property. Now, Mr. Museveni last year was bragging of how he noticed the corruption in URA, and he fired the people who were corrupt in URA. Okay, one of them was, what is his name? That guy from the West. I'm forgetting the name. The guy stood on NRM ticket, using the money he stole from URA.
Right.
Where Museveni was bragging, I fired them. I found them corrupt and I fired them. So when he fired them, they used the money they had stolen to stand on his party ticket to come to parliament so that they can protect what they had stolen. Mwami Museveni was okay. And he was with the guy, who is that guy? Katesh something. He was with him everywhere in Chankwanza and everywhere. Right. Did he arrest him? Museveni has just told us how he found a lot of corruption in the Uganda Airlines. Tell me, who has been arrested?
That's why the president is coming up today to say, well, enough is enough.
Because he's not thinking about that. He's not thinking about Uganda. He's thinking about
David,
how best he can keep president.
Yeah, so guys, yeah, sure. I think that's what the president is doing. Is trying to fight corruption by hiring the rich people like Kapalaga, the rich kids from the rich families, people like you guys.
I come from a very poor background.
All right, guys.
David. Uganda is our country. This man, this evil man, Museveni, is very bad. Now let me tell you, the issue of coronavirus in Uganda, the vaccination, is so important. People are dying. I heard one of the people here say that he has a friend that has lost 3 people in the family. I have people that are sick right now in Uganda. These are people that are dying. Do you know why? Because in the cabinet that Museveni sat, he himself made a decision that the vaccines should not be imported directly from America, from AstraZeneca. They should be bought or imported from India. Now, the whole country is in trouble because Museveni never wanted the vaccine to be imported direct from the manufacturer in America because the corruption gap could not be filled in between, because in America you cannot do corruption. When you are doing such a business, in India you could inflate the price the way you want and all the things that come out of it. Now people in Uganda are dying because of the decision. Now this time he must not say it was someone else. How many people are suffering in Uganda because of this man nonsense you are putting on here? And this man comes to defend him here. All right. If he's not a Ugandan.
All right, guys, I want to thank you so much.
This is my last time. I remember very well, not even very far. This same man started and said there is no COVID in Uganda.
Me?
The government is eating money.
Me on record?
You. No, and not even him alone. Even with the politician in Uganda, it's on record. Politician in Uganda even were saying, they even asking silly questions.
No,
why if there is COVID, people are not dying?
Okay,
am I right or wrong?
I have $100 here.
Am I right or wrong?
Well, there are so many arguments that are coming out.
People were asking why people are not dying.
No, I've never for the record. No, I've never. Never.
So guys,
and now you are the one telling us COVID.
But you people that support Museveni.
You advocate your ghetto boy, but don't advocate for a country.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much.
Advocate your ghetto boy, but don't advocate for anything.
You are there with calm.
Guys, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you for...
You can dream as much as you want.
I want to thank you so much for being part of the show. I want to thank you for the argument that you've made. The country is in a very...
Can I get
tough... Yeah, Kapalaga, make the last statement and now we'll be out of here.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank Ugandans for standing with those comrades who were incarcerated for just supporting Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. And I would like to appeal to you. I am starting an operation called Operation Tuyambe Kubasibe. Most of these guys came out beaten. People like Map Media need surgeries. People like a number of them. People like Pimpa. They came out. They lost their relatives. His wife is in hospital having had an accident. So they need our help. I would like to appeal to all of you who are watching to please come out and let's support these people. You can give whatever you have. We have our cash app number is, if I can read it.
For the first time, I'm going to give you the authority to do it. For the first time.
Thank you, Mr. David. Our cash app number is +1 857 719 4451 857 719 4451 in the names of People Power UG. The cash app name is People Power UG.
All right.
You can send whatever you can. You can inbox me. My Facebook page is Kapalaga Baby. You can inbox me for whatever you can. I want to make sure at least if each one of them can get at least $1 million to start life with, because they've been in prison for over 6 months. They are displaced from their rented rooms.
Right.
They have a lot of problems.
All right, Kapalaga, I'll give you another chance maybe next time. My producer's asking me to wind up. I want to thank you. So you yeah, Kapalaga, what was the number again?
Yeah, the number is +1 857 719 4451 +1 857 719 4451. The cash app name is People Power UG.
All right, so for our viewers who need but I have 1 second, yeah.
+1 857 7 9 445 mbadde nsaba bannayuganda ffenna tukwatagane tuyambe ku baganda baffe bano abavudde mu kkomera bayisiddwa bubi, abasinga ku bo bavuddeyo nga bakubiddwa bubi nnyo beetaaga genda mu malwaliro, abasimu ku bo nga bapimpa abafiiriddwa muzeeyi we yafa juzi, mukyala we ali ku kitanda mulwadde yafuna accident, n'abalala balina ebizibu bwe bityo babagobye mu mayumba olw'okuba bamaze emyezi nga 6 nga tebaliiwo. So twagala tubayambeko. Operation Jengendo Tandika bagiyita Operation Tuyambe Kubasibe, to making sure nga baganda baffe baddawo kubanga okuwagira Robert Kyagulanyi oba obutawagira Mwami Museveni si musango.
All right, Kapalaga, I want to thank you so much for that message. I hope my producers will be okay with my time. So, but I want to thank you guys so much for being part of the show, and for you, our viewer, we really appreciate every time you put in. But this is my closing take. Now, let's forget about the physics and chemistry here. People are dying. That's the reality. Hundreds and hundreds are now dying in Uganda. But the thing is, the country is not ready and willing to have what happened in India. Try to do your best as a Ugandan if you're in Uganda. Some people who are in the United States, most of them have been vaccinated, at least twice. Myself, have been vaccinated. I gotta be honest with you. I was one person who was a great critic of this vaccination. But I realized the importance of it. You cannot risk your life just because of somebody said don't take the vaccine. Your life matters more than the politics you advocate for. Your life matters more than the money you own. Go and be vaccinated. Don't create more chaos in the country by not being vaccinated. Have a good week. My name is David Bura.
But please tell those people not to steal our money in the names of bringing COVID vaccines.
All right, so
let people be patriotic for once.
All right, so my name is David Ubura. See you again next week on Saturday, same time. Enjoy our shows. Coming up next is Your Voice. Don't miss that very wonderful political show that brings you the insight within People Power and all other political organizations in the country. See you again next week. Have a good week. Keep watching AI TV. We are always live from our headquarters here in Boston, United States of America. Have a good week.